we wanted to announce something very special, but instead of announcing it, I think we would rather show you guys. Yeah. Oh my God.
Hey, do you still remember me?
Oh my God, a new season of MyStreet? It's been like, oh my God, 7, 8 years? That would be really cool. But that's not coming out until like a year later. I'm not... That's weird. I swear. Oh my God. That was weird. I haven't seen that thing in forever. I wonder where it went.
Hi.
If you've been part of my channel for a while, or if you've just gone down and see a few of my older videos, you know how much I love Aphmau. Literally my first video I made on my channel over a year ago, like almost near around this time, I made about ranking all of the MyStreet seasons because I just rewatched them like a year ago today. And you know what? I think that gives me the encyclopedic knowledge, basically give you a very quick recap of all of MyStreet before season 7 comes out in 2025. So technically, MyStreet does not start in season 1. MyStreet starts at the very beginning in the prequels during Phoenix Drop High. We're gonna think of this more of like a timeline base. So we're gonna start all the way back when they were in high school. Aphmau, our protagonist, is starting her first year of high school after being homeschooled for a year. During that year, she didn't spend a lot of time with people her own age, so she spent a lot of time playing games online. This will be important later. As she's walking in front of the school on her first day, she bumps into a guy named Aaron, our second protagonist, but he doesn't get a lot of screen time at the beginning because he's mysterious. They bump into each other, he grumbles, she goes, "What a jerk," and he walks away. And that's kind of their whole first impression of each other. She then runs into Gareth, one of the like hot guys at the school, and she expresses that she thinks he's cute. So Aphmau is trying to figure out her schedule, but she can't end up finding her room number. This is when she meets our third character, Lawrence, a crowd favorite. After he flat out started flirting with her, he shows her the way to the classroom, and of course she also freaks out and is like, "Oh my God, he's so hot too." In her homeroom, she meets Travis, a shy guy who also just wants to make some friends and maybe get a few girls along the way. They make friends with each other, giving themselves the name Not Alone Buddies. Some other characters we meet around this time that are not very like crucial to like the big plots of this season are Caitlin, Tiani, Zane, and Heyitsnan, which are very important characters later on. At the end of her first day, Aphmau finds out that she's been put into a class called Werewolf 101. She's not a werewolf, so she's confused by this, but has to stay since she needs to get it changed herself. She also sees Aaron, the mean guy from before, sitting in the back of the class. He's not a werewolf either, so he claims, so he doesn't know why he is also in that class either. Aaron gets into a fight, throws someone out the window, and they end up sitting next to each other in the back of the class, ending her first day in high school. Another thing to keep in mind, during this whole time, Aphmau is often seen texting this guy she met on one of her online games named FC, but we don't know who he is yet. Throughout the beginning of the season, we often see Gareth and Lawrence heavily flirting with Aphmau. They often would hang out together, but there was obviously some type of like rivalry happening between the two boys. And while that's happening, Aphmau keeps bumping into Aaron accidentally, and like they just have this weird rivalry tension that for some reason they just cannot stand each other. One day, Lawrence asks Aphmau to go to the park with him, meeting up with another friend we later find out is Gareth. While waiting, they bump into the Shadow Knights, a group of bad kids at their school that Lawrence used to be a part of. The Shadow Knights consist of Sasha, Xenix, and their leader, Jean. Some more important characters in passing are Lucinda, Dante, and Vlad. I'm just kind of, letting you know about these because they'll become more important as the seasons progress. Another small, story thing that we kind of find out near here, Gareth and Zane are brothers, and Vlad is their adopted brother. We find out that Aphmau's mom and their mom are actually longtime besties, which means they all knew each other as kids, but just didn't remember. So one night, Ziana, their mother, invites Aphmau and her mom over to their house for dinner. During the dinner, Zane teases Gareth about flirting with a lot of girls, never following through on them for an actual relationship. Gareth gets mad and storms out. Aphmau follows him, he admits that he likes her, and they kiss. Conveniently, and not stalkerish at all, Jean is there, standing on top of some boxes to look over the fence of their personal yard and takes a photo of them kissing. Jean ends up using the photo of her and Gareth kissing against her, forcing her to become part of the Shadow Knights and doing a bunch of bad stuff around the school. If she doesn't, his plan is to show Lawrence the photo, making him mad at Gareth and her, which is weird and dumb, but I'm like, okay, I feel like that's personally not Lawrence's business, but we're not gonna get into it. After a few weeks of hanging out with the Shadow Knights, she starts to grow tired of trying to keep everyone happy and hiding all of these secrets from everybody. She shares her worries with a stranger on the other side of a door in the music room playing his guitar. He gives her some great advice and she decides to stand up for herself against Jean. She tells Jean she won't be his pawn anymore and she doesn't care if he shares the photo. As Jean goes to share it, Aaron bumps him, making Jean drop his phone. Aaron stomps on it as he walks by, losing the photo forever.
Randy Orton slithering. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
After all of this chaos, Gareth asks Aphmau out on an official date to get to know her. He asks her to the festival that's currently in town. While they're there, they run into Lawrence, who doesn't know they're on a date. While in a photo booth together, Lawrence kisses Aphmau! They decide to not tell Gareth about it for now. The whole Lawrence, Gareth, Aphmau love triangle is very messy, and it stays that way for a fat minute. So this part's a little weird, so stay with me here. So this part's a little unclear to the fandom, I think. If you know the right way about this, let me know in the comments. But basically, Aaron keeps bumping into Aphmau either on accident or on purpose, but at some point in time, Aaron marked Aphmau with his scent, making her the female alpha of the school, unknowing to her. This is just a small thing, but trust me, it'll be massively important later on. Oh, duh. Also, if it was unclear, Aaron is the male alpha and she's the female alpha. And they basically are the alphas of their school in their werewolf community. So back to the main plot A. Remember when Jean was mad that his phone got smashed? Well, he decided to get revenge because he can't stand when people show him up. And he decided to show Gareth the photo booth picture of Aphmau and Lawrence kissing. How he got that, I have no clue. So while Gareth is shocked by that news, Lawrence overhears two werewolves talking about Aphmau and Aaron, saying how they're dating because they're both the alphas. Lawrence goes to Gareth, telling him he thinks they're both getting played by her. This causes them to both avoid her, making her upset and running back to the music room. She ends up messaging her friend FC, telling him the whole situation. After a few minutes of texting him, she realizes that the person she's texting is on the other side of the door. When he opens it, she finds out it's Aaron. Are we surprised? No. At first, she doesn't want to believe it's him, so she tries to run away, but after a few minutes, they talk, and they're like, oh my god, I can't believe it's you, and they're good. And now they're chilling. They start hanging out around school and becoming friends, and actually starting to get to know each other. Jean is still upset that his plan failed, so he decides to get Aaron expelled if he fights Balto on camera. Lawrence and Gareth find out and overhear his plan, and they decide to stop him. Everyone makes up, and the very messy beef is squashed. For now. Wrapping up the season very quickly, Prom is announced. Aaron wants to ask her to prom, but he doesn't know how to or if she even wants to go. He does end up asking her to prom. She says yes. They have a really cute dance in the music room and a heart-to-heart about him graduating next year and her feeling alone. Aaron throws someone else out the window. While cleaning up the glass, he cuts his hand. Aphmau gives him a piece of red fabric to cover it up. This will be important later. This red piece of fabric. They share a really sweet moment in her room, and they also kiss. So that's the end of season 1. Kiss count 3, windows broken 2, maybe more, I don't remember. If you thought season 1 was messy, just wait till we get to season 2 of Phoenix Drop High. So it's Aphmau's second year, and Aaron is off at college. Someone Aphmau meets on her first day back is a guy named Kai, who's new, and he's also a cat, and he's very charming, and someone Aphmau quickly falls for. In this season, Aphmau becomes way more involved in the werewolf community at school, since she is still the female alpha, and Aaron has left her in charge with finding a male alpha and basically taking care of the werewolf community that he left behind. Another very important character we meet in this season is a guy named Ian, who right now is a mysterious wolf boy, but will be the bane of my existence later on. So Aphmau is trying to help the werewolves, especially the freshman werewolves, since she's been put into this alpha position. But without Aaron, it's kind of hard because she doesn't really know what to do because, again, she's human. She often calls Aaron while he's away to ask for advice or just to catch up, but it's clear that they're still in contact and it's obvious that they still have feelings for each other, but they're not, like, going forth with their relationship yet because they're separated and they just think they should just keep it slow and just be friends for right now. Aaron's also got a lot of shit going on besides college. He's got a lot of things happening. We'll get into him later. It's not about him right now, but we'll get there. Some very important freshman werewolves are Daniel, Dottie, and Rylan, who are like my favorite trio. I love them so much. Another really important werewolf character this season is also Blaze. So at the beginning of the season, many werewolves are beginning to warn Aphmau not to get too close to Ian, since he is the omega of the pack. She feels bad for him, feeling like he's being left out. So she invites him to hang out and like kind of help break his shell a little more, since she thinks he's just like nervous and shy like she was. Aphmau and Ian are often seen hanging out throughout the season, just kind of getting to know each other and becoming closer as friends. While this is happening, Aphmau's crush on Kai is growing stronger. Ian, however, is getting all of the love from the fandom at this point, especially after his iconic stuck in the locker together moment where she falls asleep on him, which I remember when I was younger, ate that up. But besides that, Ian also saves and defends her from other humans and other werewolves throughout the season, which leads to Aphmau trusting him even if he is the Omega. Aphmau decides that she wants to tell Kai that she has a crush on him. Come to find out, Kai actually has a crush on her friend Caitlin. Somewhere else, the werewolf freshmen decide to call Aaron and tell him they think Aphmau is falling in love with Ian or being tricked and they're scared. So the next time Aaron and Aphmau are on the phone, Aaron decides to say that, hey, maybe you should find a male alpha to replace me from the school to help the other werewolves. And so she decides to set up a competition to see who should be the male alpha. Since it's Aaron's spring break, he decides to come back home and come see Aphmau. Aaron sees her talking with Ian hugging her as well. He questions if he can even make her smile anymore, drops the flowers and cries, thinking he is losing Aphmau to another werewolf. He's very dramatic and he's going through it, okay? At the competition, Aphmau can't decide who to pick as the male alpha. Mr. Gavin, the werewolf teacher, ends up saying that it's Ian who's the new alpha, stating that Aaron, the last alpha, chose him himself after seeing him with her. Aaron also leaves without speaking to Aphmau, which I think is so stupid. After gaining his status as alpha, Ian ends up making Daniel, one of the werewolf freshmen, the new Omega. Alright, we're gonna jump again. Remember Kai? Yeah. Man has a sudden change of heart, and he decides to ask Aphmau out on a date. She accepts, of course, because she still likes him, and on their date, Garth and Lawrence follow them. Also, when we get into the later seasons, you will find out that Garth and Lawrence following her is a common thread with these two. While there, they run into Ian, saying that he is hanging out with some other werewolves from the school. When Aphmau goes to the bathroom, Ian comes up to Kai, asking him why he is trying to get with Aphmau even though she's the alpha. Kai then says he thinks she's too immature, but she thinks he can learn to love her since he really wants a girlfriend. She overhears this, and of course, she's upset and runs away. Have I mentioned I don't like Kai? I don't like Ian. I don't like either of the new characters in this season. I think this moment is a great Aphmau character development here, in my opinion, because she will ask the question, like, what do you even know about me? To Kai, to Ian, to Gareth and Lawrence. I think it really helps her put into perspective who, like, actually likes her and who wants to be with her, and who is just liking, like, the idea of her. And I feel like that was a really great moment for her as, like, a teenager. So Kai leaves after being like, I'm sorry, like, this wasn't how I was supposed to go. And she's like, whatever, bye. And Ian comes to check on her, admitting that he also likes her and he really wants her as his girlfriend. She asks him the same question, and he also can't really, like, give her an answer about what he knows about her besides her being alpha, and she leaves. So outside, like I said, Aphmau runs into Gareth and Lawrence, where they both admit they were spying on her date. So this makes her even more upset. This girl was just getting one punch after the other this night. I was breaking for her. She runs home upset, and she decides to call Aaron, and of course he answers, and he tells her that he'll always be there for her. So after talking with Aaron, Aphmau gets some confidence back, and she decides to go ask for an apology from Gareth and Lawrence for kissing her without her permission from last year, which they both do, and now they're all cool officially. Kai also comes and apologizes to her, and they squash their beef too, but I still can't stand Kai. Ian, however, has been going around telling people that him and Aphmau are dating. Ian somehow gets a hold of Aphmau's phone, and he decides to text Aaron, saying that she doesn't need him anymore and that he's annoying her. Also, as alpha, Ian is not being a great example. He's basically bullying Daniel as the Omega. He's encouraging fights and just these types of drama and throwing people out the windows, and he's kind of going insane. Sick of Ian and his games, Aphmau challenges him to the werewolf games that she made to decide who is going to be the true male alpha. But if she wins, he has to step down as alpha. But if he wins, she becomes his girlfriend. Blaze, remember him? Well, he comes in and saves the day. He decides to call Aaron, letting him know the situation and that Aphmau has got her phone taken by Ian. Aaron becomes angry, telling Blaze he will be at the school tomorrow morning. So another really important story thing that I didn't mention, throughout this season, Aaron has been dealing, like I said before, with a lot of shit. But one of the big things he's been dealing with is his eyes. His eyes have just been very red. Not like he has an eye infection, like his eyes are literally turning red. I don't want to reveal too much because the story will tell itself, like, why they're like that. But basically, Aaron decides that he needs to go help Aphmau. Knowing that Ian still has Aphmau's phone, Aaron decides to use it to set a trap where Ian will fight him in the gym instead of competing against her in the games. In a twisted turn of events, Daniel is the one that challenges Ian in the gym as Aaron's on his way to challenge Ian. Aaron does show up and eventually fight Ian, and this is where we find out why Aaron's eyes are glowing red. Not only is Aaron a werewolf, he's also the Ultima. No, I don't know, like, different werewolf terms. Like, I don't barely even know what the Omega is, but I don't even know what the Ultima is. All I know is that they're very dangerous and, like, scary. And that's what he is. Aaron beats Ian up. Ian gets expelled, maybe arrested. I put a question mark next to it. I'm unsure. After Aaron beats Ian, he actually throws Ian out the window, and then he also throws Daniel on top of Ian. So everyone thinks that Daniel beat Ian in a fight, which made Daniel the new alpha. Aphmau thanks Aaron for all of his help, and they decide to go back to her house like they did at the end of season 1. She says that she wants to still be with him, but he says that he can't have a relationship with her right now because he's still trying to figure his shit out. He promises to be with her one day, and they kiss again. However, her mom walks in, and we get the iconic jumping through the window scene with Aphmau in his arms. And that's basically the gist of season 1 and 2 of Phoenix Drop High. I would have loved a 3rd season, but the thing that comes after this is graduation days, which we will cover in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. This video took a really long time to make, but it was really fun to do. I am so hyped for season 7. You don't even know. MyStreet was everything to me as a middle school girl going through her really heavy anime phase and heavy Minecraft phase. So these two things together were like perfect for me. So I am hyped for season 7 to come out. But if you think this was messy, just wait till we get to season 4.